Look, I don't want to say that we told you so again, but I'm going to, because a new study published by the journal Vaccine has found that Pfizer's COVID-19 vax has been linked to blood clotting in older individuals by the FDA's admission. That's right, you probably haven't heard about this yet, but earlier this month, researchers for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration looked at data covering 17.4 million elderly Americans who received the Fauci ouchie between December 10th, 2020 and January 16th, 2022. In that data, FDA researchers found that pulmonary embolism, which is blood clotting in the lungs, met the initial threshold for a statistical signal and continued meeting the criteria after a more in-depth evaluation. So, in short, there is a blood clotting linked between the vaccines. Of course, the FDA said it was not taking any action on the results because the findings are still under investigation and require more robust study. But what more do you need to know? This is just one other piece of thousands of other pieces of evidence, all pointing to the same problem. We now go to the father of the mRNA vaccine technology, Dr. Robert Malone, with his thoughts on this. Dr. Malone, I know if anyone is tired of saying, I told you so, you've got to be at the top of that list when it comes to COVID-19. You were calling all of this stuff essentially from day one. So what are your thoughts on the study that we just discussed?
Well, thank you for that, crediting me with supernatural powers that I don't have. I have gotten things wrong, and one of those was that I bought into the CCP propaganda at the beginning of 2020, just like the rest of us did. But with the vaccine problems, I think I pretty much got it right all the way through. And one of the reasons is because I was talking to 3 individuals in senior positions at the FDA who were outside of the review branch, so they weren't under the thumb of Peter Marks. And they had been working together with a gentleman from Oracle, who's their head biostatistician, on some current generation statistical tools, which the FDA and the CDC refused to use, and using those very early on to assess the data coming off relating to these vaccine products. And long ago, they were able to detect this signal of myocarditis, blood clotting, and reactivation of latent DNA viruses that we know in the form of shingles, Epstein-Barr virus, and other things. So this has been out there for a very long time, and all of that is going to be subject to discovery, I'm quite sure, and FOIA, because I've talked to people that are busy FOIAing those documents. So we will have information coming out that clearly demonstrates that the FDA has known about this for quite a long period of time and has done their best to, let's say, here's a big word, obfuscate, obscure, block, make it so that none of us can have informed consent. And you will probably recall that I went on Tucker Carlson a very long time ago, my first big hit. I was so intimidated to be on Fox News. And I told Tucker that we had a problem with our databases, and he was taken aback by that. My friends at the FDA never spoke to me again for having outed the FDA, but all of this has been known, and it's been a problem for decades. And now we're living through the consequences of our federal agencies' unwillingness to confront the truth of what's going on here and with so many other things.
Well, I'm glad you pointed out that there was a big problem at the beginning of COVID, and that is what you described as the CCP propaganda. You have a new book out. It's out right now. It's called Lies My Government Told Me and the Better Future Coming, which is on Amazon right now. You can get it in various places, including you can download it on Kindle for free as an early Christmas treat for my audience. So go download this book, the ebook right now, or you can buy the hardcover on Amazon. Dr. Malone, you describe in this book the propaganda that the world was fed and how so many people bought into all of it, and as you said, including yourself, and myself included. So, what do you hope readers take away from reading this book? What do you hope that they gain from it?
So, first off, thank you. Jill and I put our hearts and souls into this thing over the last year. And what it represents is our own personal journeys of awakening. As we've traveled through time, this COVID crisis time, and we've summarized our own experiences, our own observations, what's been going on in the press, what's happened to many of our colleagues. And what I want to say to your audience is the same thing I've said again and again. Do not take what I say as the gospel truth. Think for yourself. The intention of the book is to give you tools and access to information. It's highly cited. You can find all of these references, at least until they memory hold them and take them down. But they're all there. And what I hope is those that read it, particularly the persuadable middle, this is not written to preach to the choir. This is written for your grandmother, your uncle, your coworker, your sister, whomever that is still hypnotized by all the propaganda they've been subjected to help them to start to wake up and understand what has been done to all of us, and to help them along the path of thinking for themselves. That's our best weapon here, is to learn the way they manipulate information, the way they manipulate our very thoughts and emotions, and to be able to see through that and think for yourself. That is what, if you wish to give me a Christmas gift, it would be that your readers take away from this, your viewers, that they now have better tools and better abilities to cut through the propaganda and to see clearly and think for themselves. Don't follow what I say. Don't follow what anybody says. You know, your commitment here on your show is to give people information and let them make their own opinions, and that's my commitment too. And I think that is the best weapon we have right now, all of us, to counter this effort to shape our future that so many in this transnational globalist world wish to impose on us, this shaped future. Let's try to enable the better times, a better future, a happier future with a commitment to family, children, fundamental Judeo-Christian ethics, and move forward in a way that we're empowered rather than just living in indentured servitude under some globalist corporatist structure.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you bring up in the description for the book, you bring up transhumanism that's being pushed by people like the World Economic Forum and their acolytes. And I think that's there's so many layers in there. There's so many things that mentioned in this book that you talk about just in the description that people are so uninformed on. Maybe it's because they've lost trust in our institutions, rightfully so. And so, but the subtitle, "The Better Future Coming," that hints at some optimism that you have, Dr. Malone, some hope. Got about a minute left. What is that hope that you have for a better future for this nation, for the world at large?
Well, let's take a moment and recognize that we're heading into the Christmas season, a period of forgiveness, of renewal, of commitment to community, of commitment to each other. That is the better future, that we find a way to enable humanity to come through this and exist and flourish within the potential that we've seen social media promise. We've seen how we can all interact as a community and in a positive way come up with new ideas, new consensus, new ways of being. We don't have to live as servants under a utilitarian, centralized globalist master. We can take control of our world for ourselves, and we can commit ourselves to integrity, respecting human dignity, and to enabling community, and to remembering that the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Set it free and it'll defend itself.
And just one more time for our audience, the book is Lies My Government Told Me. You can buy it right now, the hardcover on Amazon, or you can download it for free on Kindle, an early Christmas treat from